Everyone mentioned today is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and everything I discuss here is theory until proven fact, even if it is.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these dreams I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hey guys, how you going? How you going, Deb? Hang on a sec, just let me get the screen on there. Out to lunch, how you going? Lucette, how you going? Jim, how you going? Sherry, how you going? Good to see you guys. Okay, let's get into some news. Remind me to tell you about something that happened to me 2 days ago that scared the crap out of me. Anyway, Lozzie B said a 38-year-old New South Wales senior constable has been charged after discovery of child abuse and bestiality material. Have we always had this many sick, twisted humans in Australia? What the hell's going on? It's going to be worse than you think here in Australia, I believe. 7 News Melbourne said the 38-year-old has been suspended with pay. What? With pay? And an urgent review of his employment status is underway. Cop charged after alleged discovery of child abuse and bestiality material. Yeah, there's no cure for that. I don't believe. Hour said another senator is about to be arrested. Get some popcorn. Donald J. Trump said, I've always suspected Shifty Adam Schiff was a scam artist. Now I learn that Fannie Mae's Financial Crimes Division have concluded that Adam Schiff has engaged in a sustained pattern of possible mortgage fraud. Adam Schiff said that his primary residence was in Maryland to get a cheaper mortgage and rip off America, when he must live in California because he was a congressman from California. I always knew Adam Schiff was a crook. The fraud began with the refinance of his Maryland property on February 6, 2009, and continued through multiple transactions until the Maryland property was correctly designated as a second home on October the 13th, 2020. Mortgage fraud is very serious, and crooked Adam Schiff, now a senator, needs to be brought to justice. One thing will lead to another and lead to another. Defence Index said, breaking, the US Army now has a weapon that can instantly fry entire drone swarms. It's not a laser, it's not a missile. It's Leonidas, a microwave cannon that sends out a pulse and melts electronics mid-air. No ammo, no reload, just pure energy. One blast equals 50-plus drones down, built for the wars of the future. Meet the weapon that makes air defence look like science fiction. Oh, God. Yeah, it's not good when we're at this stage, you know. How you going, Bazza, Dealey, Carl? Good to see you guys. Yeah, I don't think it's real good, you know. Like, this is obviously a AI-generated video of what it does. Anywho, I wonder if they can do that to a whole city. Microwave energy, and then you have no electronics. Sounds like an EMP, doesn't it? Il Donaldo Trumper said, okay, this is getting out of control. Xi Jinping said, release the wrist, Donald. I can't do a Chinese. Release the wrist, Donald. Okay. Because Liz Crokin said, plot twist, Kevin Spacey calls for the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. I certainly did not have Kevin Spacey calling for the release of the Epstein files on my 2025 bingo card. How Ghislaine Maxwell once sat on Buckingham Palace thrones with Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey wears retired since 2017 cap as he delivers pizza to waiting paparazzi. And Kevin Spacey has said, release the Epstein files, all of them. For those of us with nothing to fear, the truth can't come soon enough. I hate to make this about me, but the media already has. Trial by media. Another trial by media. You've got to be careful. Same with the mushroom lady, okay? I don't believe it. Sorry, but when the mainstream is getting all over it, I'm like, I don't know. And I haven't really looked into it, but honestly, the trials of Lucy Letby. Lucy Letby case may be a miscarriage of justice, says Coroner's Office. Stephanie Davis, who reviewed the deaths of babies in 2017, said there were gaps in the evidence that have since been explained by independent experts. I believe that was a miscarriage of justice. Trial by media, like I said. And the media already had the mushroom lady guilty before, and so did the public, before she actually had her trial, I believe. Clandestine, okay. This person's just having a bit of a vent, okay? I want to say vent. They're venting. But I understand why. Frankly, I'm frustrated that I've been consistently accurate in my analysis reporting, and I get very little recognition for it. That's how it goes, mate. It's not that I need validation, it's that this is not a merit-based industry. There's no punishment for being wrong, which leads to the wrong people possessing too much influence, which leads to the public being misinformed. Like Candace Owens and that other guy. I don't know what his name is. Can't remember. But even I suggested Candace Owens on my channel, and that other guy, Ian someone, his name is. And now, I don't trust them. I'll point out people to you that'll, in a couple of months, turn around, I won't trust them again. In fact, the people who are consistently wrong are often rewarded. That's how it goes on social media. There is zero monetary incentive to be correct. All that matters to 99% plus of influencers are clicks. Anyway, they can get them. And panic emotion sells. They're not actually interested in a well-informed populace. They're only interested in their bank accounts and will derail this movement for their own financial benefit. Meanwhile, I've consistently been one of the few voices of reason on this platform, and one of the only influencers who prioritises accuracy and logic over sensationalism and panic, which I didn't do the other day. I panicked. which has led to significantly more accurate analysis reporting but not more clicks. While seemingly the entire world panicked, I was one of the few analysts who accurately navigated the Iran World War III panic, you weren't the only one, as well as the tariff panic, as well as the OBBB panic, and now this DOJ FBI panic and more. My point is I've proven to be one of the most accurate analysts on the planet. I'm tired of pretending otherwise. Well, they actually have been, right? I'm tired of these shitty influencers maintaining so much influence and poisoning the well, misinforming the public with their sensationalist smut. I'm tired of our movement being led astray by morons and clickbait whores. I'm tired of our people being manipulated by the selfish and deceitful. We as a collective have to stop giving validity to those who are consistently wrong and start giving more validity to those who've consistently been right. And I agree. Like you see, Candace Owens gets the, all the views, all the subs, all that sort of stuff. People forget she was a lefty who was doxing people, including kids, back in 2016, 2017, until she turned and decided that becoming conservative was more profitable, I believe, just my opinion. But there's a lot of them out there, guys. Sorry, I got a cough. Oh, Flyby Stu, YouTube's doing some weird shit. It's called Top Fans. Now, I don't really like them, but, YouTube done it. So I haven't worked out how to turn that off yet, Flyby Stu. That's what those little hashtags, crowns, things are. I don't necessarily like them. I wish they'd stop changing things, but hey, that's just me. I like things to stay the same for a while, Topher Fields said, wait, red is cold now? I'm so confused. Yes, I know it's a wind speed graphic. I just think it's funny. Yes, now we're going red for everything. We might as well just cover Australia in red and be done with it. I mean, China's got elbow in their back pocket, so we might as well just paint Australia red and be done with it. Millions warned as brutal cold fronts hit Australia. It's freaking freezing. Well, not quite. It's 1 degree Celsius. And I think it was 0 when I woke up this morning. It's cold. General Mike Flynn said, real Donald Trump, there are tens of millions of your supporters, to include myself, that this is all we needed to hear. The Epstein affair is an ugly stain on our society, and those who abuse children, regardless of their status in life, must be held accountable. The American people realise the weight and monumental challenges on your shoulders, but we also know you are the right person at the right time in US history. Thank you for hearing us. Benny Johnson said, exclusive. Lara Trump says the Trump administration will release more Epstein evidence and will have more transparency. She says that President Trump hears the base on this issue and knows how important it is, and Trump will set things right. There needs to be more transparency. I think that will happen. I know this is important to the president. He's frustrated. He's going to want to set things right. I believe there'll be more coming, and anything they're able to release, they'll try and get out. They hear it and understand it. 21 worked up out there. There's no plot to keep this information away. I'm sure we will know down the line, which is what I think, because I think they're going to start at the bottom levels of Adam Schiff, right? For example, being done for having his mortgage, ripping off the US taxpayer. It'll start with things like that. From there, one thing will lead to another. It'll go up and up and up. How you going, Black Hat Music? Good to see ya. And sorry, Flyby Stu, I didn't say hello to you before. How you going? Okay. Rob Smith said, subject, Freedom of Information request, transcript of meeting between Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, Australian Prime Minister, and Xi Jinping on 15th of July. He's writing because he wants an FOI, okay? He's submitting a Freedom of Information for access to the documents held by the Department of the Prime Minister and Cabinet. Specifically in the interests of transparency, I request the full transcript of the meeting held behind closed doors between Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and Chinese President Xi Jinping, because no media are allowed. So our Prime Minister is having secret meetings with the Chinese, whatever he is, President, King, freaking, I don't know, Prime Minister, who knows? But the media are not allowed to see what it's about. Okay, Sassy Chick said, good morning. I noticed that Trump could have immediately said no one is quitting the team after Pam's announcement, but instead waited a few days to observe certain groups. Why? I believe he wanted to identify those trying to divide MAGA. This makes sense because that's exactly what happened. Trump recognises this as a national security threat. I support his strategic moves. He's our guy and is gaining control over these rats in both parties. Follow the breadcrumbs and avoid jumping to conclusions. We can now see the fake MAGA people clearly. Stay vigilant. More surprising developments are coming. Be safe. And be careful who you follow. And check everything for yourself. Use your own discernment. Do your own research. Chris Barron said no one voted for any influencer. We voted for Trump. And that's exactly right. No one voted for influencers. Okay, and now we've got Katie Hopkins over in the UK. Dear junior doctors or whatever you are wanting to rebrand as, may I politely inform you the God delusion that used to surround you is no more. Let's have a listen to Katie because she's always funny. And I really like her. So let's have a go.
And you know, the thing that I really wanted to tell you is that the God delusion that used to surround the medical profession, it's over. I know you were told all your life, oh, he's going to be a doctor. My son's going to be a doctor. My daughter's at medical school. I'm so proud we've got a doctor in the family. I know that. I grew up in that era. But that's over. The God delusion is over, my darlings. There are millions of us out here who no longer believe that the medical profession is working in our interest, who no longer trust a doctor, who don't believe that doctors will do no harm, because so many of you were part of the greatest psyop in human history. Many of you pushed the state injectable whilst not taking it yourselves. You gave it to pregnant women and children who had no business taking it. We saw what happened to our elderly when they were pushed out into care homes and killed off. Many of us know that the last person we actually want to see if we're sick is a doctor in a hospital, because we don't trust that setting anymore. And that is how we feel about the medical profession. Not everyone, I speak only for myself. And I know what's going to come back to this from parents and from you guys. It'll be, okay, Katie, sure. Let's see who you need when you're sick. Let's see what happens when you rock up at I look forward to seeing you at my hospital. Me too. Because you don't intimidate me that way. You know, I've been asked about my Brexit views with double dislocated arms through my epilepsy. So I know how it is to be intimidated when you're sick. And it doesn't intimidate me because you're not answering my points, which have been fairly rational to this point. You're just coming back with bullying. You're coming back with coercion. Actually, what it is a subtle threat. You come to my hospital and I won't treat you, or I won't treat you kindly. Well, that's okay. Because when I need actual medical help, I'm going to alternative places to search for that, for people that weren't involved with COVID or lockdowns or pushing the psychological mania that went on that you guys were all part of. So I say to junior doctors, maybe, just maybe, know that the God delusion is over. Maybe have a little word with your egos and keep them in check. And maybe you'd be better off winding your neck in, taking that pay offer and being happy that you are safe and secure in your jobs.
That is very well said. And luckily, our Dr. Timmy woke up around the same time, you know. Well, I think he's been awake for years. He's an alternative doctor. That's why we love Dr. Timmy. And he was not one of the ones pushing. LH Michael MAGA, Team MAGA, said, I wonder where George Clooney and Barack Obama were heading on this boat a long time ago. Remember this? People are so focused on intangible evidence that's not there with POTUS, real Donald Trump, but evidence that is clear as day with the Democrats no one wants to talk about. Your thoughts? In case you missed it. That's the little girl. Doesn't look very good, does she? Why is he doing up his pants? It is apparently alleged, I don't know. Because I can't be fully, I don't know if this is the same person I'm saying. Okay, so double check everything, but yeah, this has been going for years. We saw that years ago. Drogo said while everyone was focused on Epstein, Trump's been quietly enforcing a mass purge of the FBI and the media was too distracted to cause a big panic. Look here, not there. The steps are happening one by one, but most people are too emotional to see it. We understand that there is extreme fatigue and frustration, re the wheels of justice are slow. Exclude emotion and personal desire. Instead, use logic and critical thinking based on situational awareness. Undo a lifetime of evil and corruption infestation in the span of less than 2 years with a corrupt DOJ and FBI in place. Process and planning, law and order. Military op. How can you make arrests non-military prior to first fully cleaning out corrupt elements at the top of those departments, the FBI, the DOJ, that oversee investigation and prosecution in the United States? They themselves are the very ones engaged in the illegal treasonous acts. There you go. Tim Poole said breaking, the FBI New York appears to have gone rogue. AG letter says FBI New York is withholding critical Epstein documents. This after reports that the FBI was secretly destroying Epstein documents. What the fuck is happening? Dear Director Patel, before you came into office, I requested the full and complete files related to Jeffrey Epstein. In response to this request, I received approximately 200 pages of documents, which consisted primarily of flight logs, Epstein's list of contacts and list of victims' names and phone numbers. I repeatedly questioned whether this was a full set of documents responsive to my request, and was repeatedly assured by the FBI that we had received the full set of documents. Late yesterday, I learnt from a source that the FBI field office in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein. Despite my repeated requests, the FBI never disclosed the evidence of these files. When you and I spoke yesterday, you were just as surprised as I was to learn this new information. By 8 a.m. tomorrow, February 28th, the FBI will deliver the full and complete Epstein files to my office, including all records, documents, audio, video recordings, and materials related to Jeffrey Epstein and his clients, regardless of how much information was obtained. There will be no withholdings or limitations to my or your access. The Department of Justice will ensure that any public disclosure of these files will be done in a manner to protect the privacy of victims and in accordance with law, as I've done my entire career as a prosecutor. I'm also directing you to conduct an immediate investigation into why my order to the FBI was not followed. You will deliver to me a comprehensive report of your findings and proposed personnel action within 14 days. I appreciate your immediate attention to this important matter. I know that we're both committed to transparency for the American people, and I look forward to continuing to work with you to serve our president and country. Interesting. And that was back on the 27th of February. Okay, Ian Yeager said just now, Rep. Ro Khanna has officially introduced an amendment to require the Epstein files to be released to the public.
Mr. Speaker, I introduced today an amendment demanding the full release of the Epstein files. The Speaker's Rules Committee should demand a vote tomorrow of every member of Congress. Yes, we should release it, or no, we should not. This is a question of whose side are you on? Are you on the side of protecting the rich and the powerful who've put their thumb on the scales of government to suck out millions of dollars while working class Americans suffer? Or are you on the side of the people? The Attorney General said on her desk was the Epstein file. And now she's saying, no, 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 nothing to see, don't release it. This is a question of trust. We need to release the Epstein files so we can restore government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And every member of Congress tomorrow should be forced to vote on this amendment. Mr. Speaker,
Interesting. Got people all over the place calling for it now. Told ya, the left, the right, it's bringing everyone together to call for it. Liz Churchill said, so strange, the God-fearing Republicans just blocked the release of the Epstein list that exposes the child traffickers. Huh.
Hearing none, the question's on the amendment. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. No. In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it. The amendment's not agreed
Chair, I'm
to.
kind of shocked by that. I will ask for a roll call.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mrs. Fishbach? No. Mrs. Fishbach, no. Mr. Norman? Yes. Mr. Norman, aye. Mr. Roy? Mrs. Houchin. Mrs. Houchin, no. Mr. Langworthy. Mr. Langworthy, no. Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott, no. Mr. Griffith. Mr. Griffith, no. Mr. Jack.
No.
Mr. Jack, no. Mr. McGovern.
Aye.
Mr. McGovern, aye. Ms. Scanlon. Ms. Scanlon, aye. Mr. Neguse. Mr. Neguse, aye. Ms. Leisure-Fernandez. Ms. Leisure-Fernandez, aye. Madam Chair.
No.
Madam Chair, no.
The clerk will report the total.
5 yeas, 7 nays.
The noes have it. The amendment is not agreed to. And I think most of us believe what's appropriate will be released when it is time for the president to release it.
Well, Madam,
Thank you.
Interesting.
Hearing-
I wonder what's really going on with the Epstein files. How you going, George? Good to see you. Zal, good to see you. Is there anyone else I've missed? Okay. Shadow of Ezra said Ghislaine Maxwell says she's prepared to testify before Congress and expose the truth behind her for Epstein's secret client list. I bet she'll lie her head off. As the only person ever jailed in connection to Epstein's crimes, she claims she's ready to finally tell the American people what really happened. I doubt that. Maxwell says she would welcome the opportunity to speak under oath and reveal the full story. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think they're all liars. Overlord Mainstream said looks like Cheshire Police have just shot themselves in the foot. They used a report from Stephanie Davies of the Cheshire Coroner's Office as a valid reason to kickstart the Lucy Letby investigation. They have now gone out of their way to try and undermine this report. Whoopsie. Responding to Davies' concerns about the Lucy Letby case, a Cheshire Police spokesperson described Davies' former position as administrative role within the Cheshire Coroner's Office and said she was neither formally, medically, nor legally trained. Well, apparently, she is. Guy's Channel said the coroner who reviewed Lucy Letby's baby O, the blame for whose death has now been squarely placed at the door of consultant Stephen LBRY, when he pierced the baby's liver, was told nothing about the liver piercing by the hospital doctors. Why did they hide this? Interesting, isn't it? And in the court of public opinion, she was guilty before she even went to court. And I believe that the lady is legally trained, by the way. Joanne said, do you think the deep state cabal already knew in the 80s when Trump became a player on the national stage but wouldn't join their clubs nor pledge allegiance to their leaders, that he would be a threat to their operation? I'll give you a hint. The answer begins with a Y. Do you think at that time they already began sending in operatives to get close to him? This all has been going on longer than you have been aware. Do you think it's the plants in the MAGA movement who gained your trust who are now turning on him? Was this their game plan all along? Critical thinking is necessary right now more than ever. And Black Hat Music, did I say hello? Good to see ya. Alpha Warrior said the Epstein operation has 6 phases. Okay, this was interesting. You've just witnessed the first 3 unfold in real time. Phase 1, Bindergate. The breadcrumb trail begins. Redacted files, sealed names and leaked documents ignite curiosity, where we learn of the phases. Phase 2, Elon's post. Trump is on the list. The first wave of coordinated disinfo attacks. Social media weaponised to turn Trump supporters against him and assets working coordination are identified. Phase 3, the Epstein memo and prison video. The second wave, bipartisan outrage engineered. Influencers part of the operations to undermine President Trump are exposed to base. The public begins calling for real investigations of optics shift. Phase 4, TBD. Phase 5, same, and 6, and now we wait. Phase 4, now this is speculative, right? A new investigation is announced, separate from the corrupted, compromised original, a clean slate, a firewall. This ensures the real evidence is admissible, not poisoned by past DOJ cover-ups. This keeps the enemy from using their own sins to sabotage justice. Phase 5, speculative again. Announcement of special witness, Jeffrey Epstein and others, some in custody, some in protection. Some are flipped. And then the hammer drops, indictments, names you know, names they tried to protect. Phase 6, the trial begins. Just ahead of midterms, and the public finally sees the rot. Politicians, elites, institutions exposed, prosecuted. The draining of the swamp begins. They want you to abandon President Trump now because they know he's the only one who's ever truly gone after this global trafficking network. Don't fall for the psychological ops. Don't fall for the bots and the fake MAGA plants. This is a war. And President Trump is the most aggressive force ever deployed against the child trafficking scourge in American history. Keep talking about Epstein. Keep the heat on. Let no one forget and don't let anyone strip the support of President Trump leading this battle. Semper Fi, Alpha. Very interesting. Oz Integrity said, breaking, Treasury accidentally emailed ABC documents normally redacted here in Australia, which discloses higher taxes are needed to plug massive holes and unachievable housing targets that won't be delivered. Seems both the Reserve Bank of Australia and Treasury reveal Labor is lying to Aussies. It's about bloody time. Il Donaldo Trumpo said, yes, they cooked the effing files. You think they wouldn't? Yeah, it's going to have to be started all over again. From the beginning. Brian Cates, political columnist and pundit, said, looks like the Durham report wasn't a waste of time after all. If you're following me back in 2018, all the way through the time that Durham closed up shop and revealed himself to be a massive failure or a cover-up artist, then know how much grief I took from people who couldn't see what was being done because own strongly held confirmation biases prevented them from being able to really look. I always said on day one we would see a return of John Durham and that the groundwork he provided in exposing the grand conspiracy or joint venture between the Hillary Clinton for President 2016 campaign, Hillary Clinton, Huma Abedin, Bill Clinton, Cheryl Mills, Jake Sullivan, the Obama White House, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Valerie Jarrett and Susan Rice, the DOJ, Loretta Lynch, John Carlin, Sally Yates, Bruce Orr, Perkins Coie, Mark Elias, Michael Sussman, Fusion GPS, Glenn Simpson, Peter Fritsch, Christopher Steele and Igor Danchenko, the FBI, James Comey, Andrew McCabe, James Baker, Peter Strzok, Joseph Pientka, Lisa Page, Christopher Steele, yes, he's listed twice, Sweaty Fat F, Stephen Halper, the United States House of Representatives, Adam Schiff, Eric Swalwell and Nancy Pelosi, to manufacture, spread in the media and then use for official federal intelligence law enforcement investigations of Donald Trump known hoaxes. It's called the wrap-up smear. If you look it up on X, Nancy Pelosi, the wrap-up smear, she'll tell you exactly what they do. They leak the fake information to the media and tell them that the FBI is investigating it. Then they do the opposite with the FBI. They leak it to the FBI and say the media is investigating it, so the FBI better investigate it. Okay? And then they all decide to continue this grand conspiracy after Trump won the 2016 election despite all of their illegal efforts. And then they decided again to keep going forward with their grand conspiracy, even after Trump was inaugurated at the duly elected 45th US president. Treason. Look up the statute of limitations on that sometime. Want to bet many of these same traitors played key roles in the setting up of the rigging, stealing of the 2020 incident? Exploring all of their continued organised crime activities during that 2015 to 2018 time period would lead any investigators like Night Follows Day right to all their impeachment activities and then their 2020 rigging. Ain't life grand? A storm has arrived, said John Solomon provides an update to news he broke over the weekend that the FBI has been investigating grand conspiracy charges against the Russiagate hoaxes. Kash Patel apparently needs President Trump to declassify a couple of tranches of evidence, both related to Hillary Clinton, which are docs related to Hillary Clinton's email server, a classified portion of the Durham report titled The Clinton Plan Intelligence. Trump is 100% going to declassify. It looks like the Durham report was not a waste of time after all. Yeah, everyone gave up on Durham a long time ago, but he's been working behind the scenes. There you go. Benny Johnson said, just got off the phone with top federal law enforcement contact. The change in approach to Epstein's been dramatic. Expect more disclosures. Some very powerful people inside admin are now pushing for a special counsel and a full press briefing on Epstein's findings. Important to note, this drastic change happened after Charlie Kirk wasn't the one who did it. Oh, maybe a couple of them powerful MAGA voices pushed back on the handling of the Epstein case this weekend at the Turning Point conference. They were met with massive roars and applause from the 7,000 gathered that could not be ignored. In short, our voices are being heard, power to the people. I think it's more social media and the amount of people on social media demanding Epstein files. I do not think it was just Charlie Kirk and Benny Johnson and Turning Point Conference. I think it was more than that. Senator Matt Canavan says since Australia signed up to net zero, electricity prices are up 31%, gas prices are up 39%, net zero is not working. God help us. I'm due for a bill any minute now. Oh, God. Okay, Joe M said it's not about Epstein, it's about exposing the people who went to Epstein's island, committed terrible, heinous acts of sexual violence and worse against God's children. Do you get it? This is not about Epstein the man, it's about exposing pure evil and the people who participated in this evil. It's about putting the monsters behind bars so they can never harm children again. It's about ridding our world of monsters. And funnily enough, I can't remember what I was watching or listening to the other day, but I was listening to someone and they were saying that Epstein liked barely legal girls. So girls that were legal but looked younger, okay? Yeah, so there's a lot to unpack with Epstein. And I think they've got to start this investigation from the beginning, or they probably already have been, but they haven't got the full information yet. That's what I think's happening. But anyway, that's just me and just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. As I said, use your own discernment, do your own research. J6 Jessica Watkins said, just putting this out there, I know Ghislaine Maxwell personally when I was in prison with her. She isn't suicidal in the least. There are also virtually no working cameras in FCI Tallahassee, just getting ahead of potential narratives. So if Ghislaine Maxwell commits, see you later, then we know. Another one who didn't kill themselves. Eric Doherty said Justin Attorney General Pam Bondi fires the DOJ's ethics chief. Notice of removal from federal service for Joseph W. Tyrrell. Pursuant to Article 2 of the United States Constitution and the laws of the United States, your employment with the Department of Justice is hereby terminated. You are removed from federal service effective immediately. If applicable, you may have a right to file an appeal of this removal with the U.S. Merit System Protection Board within 30 days effective date of the removal action. For more information on how to file an appeal with the MSPB, please visit mspb.gov. Wow. Drogo said a lot of people will hang their heads in shame for mocking Trump when they realise he's bringing down the whole corrupt disease temple. There you go. How you going, Dolores? Good to see ya. Okay, RM said, can we stop talking about how ex-Australian PM Paul Keating's daughter was seen leaving Epstein's apartment as well? Maybe it might bring more attention to it. Let's have a look.
Tom, we know that Catherine Keating, the daughter of Paul Keating, has many ties to Jeffrey Epstein. She once interviewed Jeffrey Epstein's longtime associate, Ghislaine Maxwell. She has romantic links to some of Epstein's associates and has socialised in similar circles. This video that shows the woman that looks similar to Catherine Keating comes from 2010, though. It was filmed in New York and only released last week, so that is where there is some difficulty. There's been no response from anyone involved in the case on the identity of that woman. As this all plays out, though, the British Royal Prince Andrew, who is a...
Can I just say, we had a clearer picture than that. There she is with Ghislaine. Oh, what's
Mr.
this?
Speaker, today as a nation, we confront our failure to listen, to believe and to provide justice. And again today we say sorry.
What the fuck is this? That wasn't included. Sorry. And that was Scott Morrison from years ago. And he can say sorry as much as he wants. I don't care. He's saying sorry to the Aboriginal people, which has been said over and over and over again until I'm blue in the face. But anyway, hey. Josette Caruso said, serious question, why don't the Epstein victims, who are all adults now, simply name the names of their assailants? It's too easy, isn't it? Too easy. And no, I don't believe Virginia Giuffre, because she was after money. She wanted money. She got money from Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. I didn't trust her. Money. Sorry, Zal, I have no idea. It was just like, it's like YouTube Shorts. You can just flip down and it keeps playing. Like, it's something like that, I believe. It just plays the next video in line wherever, I don't know, in the bloody universe, in the, what do you call it? Web universe. I don't know, but I turned it off pretty quick. I don't want to hear him. Rod D. Martin said, Trump, Kennedy, who, China? Trump just pulled the US out of the WHO again. RFK Jr. backed him. The global elites are panicking. Here's what enemy media isn't telling you. The enemy media? The WHO just passed a global pandemic treaty without us. Biden rejoined it. Trump and RFK Jr. just ditched it again. They're building a new international health system without Tedros, without China, and without Big Pharma's grip. Kennedy laid it out clearly. This isn't about ending international cooperation. It's about ending corruption. The WHO is broken, captured by corporations and China. WHO doesn't even hide it anymore. Gates Foundation is its top donor. China pledged $500 million to buy influence. Gavi and CEPI funnel billions into vaccine-only solutions, nutrition, sanitation and rural healthcare, forgotten. And it's not just that they're corrupt and in bed with the CCP. While the WHO obsesses over disease X and fictional pandemics, actual killers like malaria, TB and HIV, which kill over 2 million a year, are underfunded, ignored or defunded outright. The Trump-Kennedy agenda flips the script. Local control, stronger national health systems, nutrition and economic development, no lockdowns, mandates or censorship. Make America Healthy again wasn't a slogan, it's a blueprint. Moderna's $700 million mRNA bird flu deal, cancelled. HHS, we're not repeating the lies and cover-ups of the last administration. The WHO doesn't represent science anymore. It represents donor control, pharmaceutical profits and Chinese corruption. It failed on COVID. It lied about origins, not oranges. It helped censor dissent and now it wants more power? No, thank you. Even WHO insiders admit the game. It's not public health, it's political and financial coercion. Refuse mandates, lose funding. Refuse surveillance, lose trade access. That's not medicine, it's extortion, sponsored by the CCP. RFK Jr.'s right. The US should lead a new health alliance with sovereign nations, not global bureaucrats. One focused on health, not digital IDs. One that builds resilience, not dependence on vaccines that aren't subject to proper clinical trials. Trump is ending China and Bill Gates' war on your freedom disguised as pandemic preparedness. No more WHO, no more mandates, no more surrendering American sovereignty to global elites. Enough. Please go and see your doctor, as always, if pain persists, and hopefully one in America when they're pulling out of the WHO. Rod D. Martin, preferably Timmy. Oh, dear. Has anyone heard from Timmy in the last few days? I'm wondering, because I haven't heard from him. I sent him a message on Saturday or whenever that day was that we were supposed to do the thing, Sunday. I've got a cough again. Hang on, guys. I'll have to message him anyway. Thriller the Gorilla said, so many disagree with me, I'm about to sneeze now. Oh, no, but I think trade schools should get the same funding as universities. Skilled trades are just as valuable, I think more valuable, yeah, if not more so, in today's world. I think they're more valuable than university degrees at the moment. Brian Cates said, for 6 long years, Epstein's been a right-wing thing that the lefties fear. I completely tunes out. Am I at the end? I think I am. That was short. Okay. It's pretty good because I'm about to start sneezing my head off. I don't know. I've been using the washing solution, you know, the nose rinse, every day, but I'm still sneezing my head off. I went for a blood test yesterday, and yeah, we'll see how that turns out early next week. And also 2 days ago, I had a very weird incident happen to me. Never felt anything like that before in my life. I bent over to pick a piece of wood up, and my heart started freaking pounding like I'd just run a marathon for no reason, right? And so I brought the wood inside, and I was bringing wood in, and it just kept beating really hard, really fast. It was not palpitations. I felt palpitations before. This was different. This was my heart going berserk, right? And it took me 2 minutes after coming in and sitting down and deep breathing to settle my heart rate down. So I don't know what's going on, but I've done the blood test that the doctor suggests I do, because I seen him on that afternoon and I mentioned it. And he said, if the blood test comes back okay, then we do an ECG. Okay, so I don't know what's going on. I'm not saying I've got any heart problems, but something happened, okay? I have not had any shots. I've not done anything. But we're going to find out, I suppose. I've left it too long to go see the doctor because I didn't trust them. Okay. So there you go. Yeah, need an ECG. That's what I think the doctor's going to do, because it's never happened before. It was the first time it ever happened. And it was for no reason other than bending over to pick a piece of wood up, and it wasn't that heavy. Like, they're all heavy, of course, you know, they're heavy pieces of wood. I only pick one up at a time, sometimes two if they're smaller. But yeah, that should not have happened. It's never happened to me before. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, my heart just started racing and it wouldn't settle down for a few minutes. So, I don't know. Anywho, let's go back through the quick chat. I now got to blow my nose because I nearly sneezed. My nose filled up with hang on. You don't need to know. Yeah, so I would also like to contact Dr. Timmy, actually, because of what happened the other day as well. Yeah, I don't know. I've never felt anything like it. It spun me right out. I was like, what the fuck's going on? I mean, my mum had a heart attack, like a mild one, when she was in her 50s, 60s. Yeah, so it might be nothing, like it might, I don't know, it might be nothing. Could be anything, could be nothing. It's all right. As long as I'm kicking, you'll still hear from me. Deb was first in this time. Oh, shoot, hang on. I just tried to get comfortable in the chair and I hit the... So out to lunch said, hit the like, y'all, please. Can you hit the like for me? It helps. Any little thing helps, you know. Sub if you haven't subbed. If you like the content, that is. Jim said, hello, everyone. And Deb's got the little rocket ships in there. We're taking off. Sherry's in there. Hello, everyone. Deb said, not missing you today, Carl. Sorry, Carl, I missed you. Let's go. And Bazza came in. Deb said, a pine box is a good cure. Yeah, for hurting animals or children. Yes, it is. That police officer that was done with bestiality and child P. It's not child P, it's CA, child abuse. It's not even, that's not what it is. It's abuse. Because children do not consent to that shit. And Dealey, how you going? Okay, Lucette says Kevin Spacey's on the Epstein list. He's on the, Yeah, but the list hasn't exactly been released. We don't have a list. What we have is people that release something, but where did that come from? I'm starting to be suspicious of everything now. Like, I'm really in that, like, I'm cynical about everything. Sorry, Lucette. But yeah, no, I mean, we'll let it out and we'll see where, where everything is. Flyby said, what's with the hashtag in chat? Oh, yeah, that was that crown thing. Lucette said, not only is Spacey on the list, but he was banned from the island for being a monster. That's what we heard. Out to Lunch said you can turn them off yourself. How? Is it this? Hang on. No. Because this just brings up the top fans then. See, that's all it does. I'm going to have to go into the settings afterwards and see if I can turn them off. Black Hat Music made it. How you going, Black Hat? Bazza said we're getting heat index 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Jeez, it's 1 degree Celsius here. I'm freezing. Use a boiling over there. Deb said it's all for entertainment purposes only. Out to Lunch said I can't remember, but I know you can or could. Sherry said I like Katie. She's so funny. That's good. She is. I like her too. I didn't know she had epilepsy. There you go. Deb said we trust our doctor in the house. Tim, yeah, he's the only bloody doctor I trust, really. That's why I've got to get like second. I think my doctor knows I'm getting something from someone, because when I went to the doctors with the swollen sinuses, sorry, I just hit the mic with my hand. When I went to the doctor with swollen sinuses and I told him I was doing the Neomed thing and I had the Fest spray and, he said, you're doing all the right things. I have to go into settings and turn it off. Okay, that's, hang on. Can I do that from here? I don't know what information it's going to bring up or anything, so I'll wait. I'll try and turn it off before the next stream. Lucette said junior doctors are striking for more money here in the UK, so that's why Katie Hopkins said all that. I agree with her completely. I do too, because junior doctors, the ones that I've come across here in Australia these days, they just look up your symptoms on the internet. They might have a special part of the internet, but yeah, it's all on their computer. I don't know. Out to Lunch said we're some of the 100 monkeys in a test, maybe. Flyby said inappropriate behaviour stands out in any situation. Speak for themselves. Zal, how you going? Zal said, oopy doopy, we have fun. George, how you going? Dealey's in here. And Zal said Trump played them all again because they think he's on the list. Yep. Zal said they're demanding it to be put out. Exactly. Well, there could be two things true at the same time. Obama and his DOJ and Biden and all that's DOJ may have done their own list, right? But I believe that Trump knows what's going on, and that's why this list has not come out, because it's files more than a list. It's not a list. Okay. I want to see all the files. That's just me. Everyone's saying g'day. Black Hat Music said, yes, Hev, I'm here. Good on you, Black Hat Music. God love you. Zal said, Elon Musk viewed my profile on TikTok the other day. Wow, well done. Out to Lunch said, critical, yes, but things phase you in different ways, and one get emotional, then you are more easily tricked. Yes. Yeah, it is. You've got to, if you can't help but get emotional about things, get emotional about it, but wait a day. At least a day. Before reacting, anyway. I learnt that the other day. Again, sometimes you've got to learn that lesson more than once, and I do, Dolores is in here. How you going, Dolores? Sal said, I don't think people can grasp the enormity, extent and how this control system is brought upon them in plain sight without them even realising it. I agree, Zal. People don't understand how big this is. And it is huge. Deb said, mind control at its best, Zal. Deb said, we are carbon-based. Now look at reducing carbon. It also means us. Yeah, Zal said, what's Hillsong ScoMo doing there, Hev? I have no idea. Yep, the interweb, that's it. Yeah, whatever's playing next in the interwebs is what happens. I don't know why X has decided to do that, instead of just stopping the videos at the end of that post. But you go on to more videos after that. I don't know. Out to Lunch said that room was the shape of one of those Jewish, what do you call them? I can't think of the thingy. Yeah, the thingy. That'll do. Deb said at the TED Talk with Bill Gates, he said vaccines and healthcare to reduce people. Yeah, he wants to reduce the amount of people on the planet. He does. Flyby Stew said oranges and apples, lol. Out to Lunch said enough is enough. Deb said, please see our Dr. Timmy. Yeah, Out to Lunch, Timmy. Oh, Timmy ghost us. No, I think he's either busy or, I'm going to try and contact him, actually. Shannon said, sorry, I fell back asleep. What did I miss? Deb said, maybe our Dr. Timmy is lurking. George said, I have a blood test on Wednesday. Good luck with that, George. Out to Lunch said, AFib? I don't know. Out to Lunch said, maybe check it. George said, I mean Thursday. Oh. Yeah, Out to Lunch. I think I need an ECG. Good luck with your blood test, George. I've yet to get the results of mine, which I will probably get at the end of this week or early next week. Out to Lunch said AFib. What does AFib mean? Hang on. Oh, hang on. Over here. What does AFib mean? I don't know what it means. Atrial fibrillation, symptoms and causes. Atrial. Irregular and often very fast heartbeat. Called atrial fibrillation. The treatment uses heat or cold energy to create tiny scars in an area of the heart. The signal that tells the heart to beat can't pass through scar tissue, so the treatment helps block faulty signals that cause AFib. Can be done if medicines or other treatments for AFib don't work, but sometimes it's the first treatment for certain people with AFib. A doctor most often uses thin, flexible tubes called catheters to do a atrial fibrillation ablation. The tubes are placed into blood vessels and guided to the heart. Less commonly, ablation is done during heart surgery. Oh. It wasn't fluttering. It was like fast and pounding. It wasn't like... I've had, what do they call them? Heart palpitations before. The fluttering heartbeat. I've had that before. This was a fast, like, it felt like my heart was going to come out of my chest. It was that hard. Beating that hard. Bleeding or infection at the area where catheters are placed. Yeah, I don't need to know that. Okay, let's not get there until we need to. I don't know. It was only once. It happened the other day. I don't know. Where was I up to? Deb said, I hate it when my heart races fast. I've got to cough again. It's probably all the coughing I've done. It's done something. Pulled muscles all over the place. Yeah, good luck with your test, George. No, we don't trust doctors, said Deb, other than Timmy. Marlo, tachycardia is what you might have. Hev, hope you're okay. Prayers your way. Thank you. I think I'm going to need all the prayers I can get right now. Yeah, I'll need to speak to Dr. Timmy. That's the first thing I need to do. Flyby said a crypto question. What's more secure, a digital wallet or an exchange? Oh, that's a question I really could not tell you. I bought one of the USB things. Because if everything does go to the moon, right, you're going to need to store it offline. So the only thing I can say about that flyby, Stu, is buy one of the, to store your crypto on a little, it's like a little thumb drive, but it's bigger than that. Black Hat Music said, easy, Hev, I had open heart surgery last year. You know, I don't want to get open heart surgery. I don't want any of it. Oh, no, no one wants to be sick. I bet I've been telling myself that for the last 20 years. Deb said, we miss the others when they're not here. They're all loved. Yes, everyone who's not here, much love to you all. Out to lunch said, yes, everything is allegedly. Yes, it is. Everything is alleged until, you know, proven true, even if it is true. And good to see you, Marlo, by the way. Deb said, yes, I'm having a good day. Thanks. Hope you're well too. Oh, hang on. Where are we? Deb said, I read it and you have to go to settings to turn it off. Okay, for that, yeah, the crown things. Out to lunch said, is there anywhere to play trivia on here? I don't know. Deb said, that's a big one, Black Hat Music. Yeah, that's a, whoa. Open heart. Oof. Deb said, even the gorilla lady wants the Earth population reduced. Yes. Black Hat Music said, I need a new aorta valve, so I'm now part cow. Wow. They used a heart valve from a cow. Good as new now. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's what it is. Out to lunch, a menorah. Shannon said, tabernacle? Yeah, out to lunch said, wow, Black Hat, yeah. Deb said, what is happening while everyone is focused on the Epstein list? The mainstream news do look like over here. Yep. Out to lunch said, got an ablation on mine. Deb said, a machine. It worked. I said, out to lunch. Sal said, ascension symptoms have? I don't know. Felt more like heart attack symptoms. Sal. Oh, dear. No, it stopped within because I was collecting wood for about 5 minutes, okay? So it was going like that for about 5 minutes. And then when I came in and sat down, I had, it was still going. It wouldn't stop. But all of a sudden, it just went, and it slowed down again. It wasn't a slowdown. This was just and it slowed down again. All of a sudden. It was like, what the fuck just happened then? Shannon said, Black Hat's music brings all the boys to the yard. Damn right. It's better than yours. I could teach you, but I have to charge. I remember that song came out, Shannon. Oh, my God. Yes. Deb said, wait for our Dr. Tim. Yeah, I think that's the best thing is talk to him as well. Shannon said, Zal is correct. Epstein's just the tip of the iceberg. Exactly. He's not even the most important part, really. Out to lunch said, don't speak it into existence. Yeah, I shouldn't be looking it up on the internet. Deb's laughing at Shannon. Deb said, no more surgery for me. Flyby said, my mates invested in two wallets, £500. They don't accept XRP. Hang on. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Hang on a sec. Crypto... What do you call it? Storage? Where is it? What does this one say? What is a crypto wallet? I don't think it's that. Is it a ledger? Yeah, that's it, a ledger, a ledger. Flyby Stew, get yourself a ledger. When it comes down to hardware wallets, Ledger is the first thing that comes to mind. Known for its robust security features and sleek design, Ledger offers two main products, the Ledger Nano S and the Ledger Nano X. They provide top-notch security by keeping your private keys offline and isolated from potential online threats. They each support a wide array of cryptocurrencies, making them a versatile choice for users with various digital assets. It supports over 1,100 different cryptocurrencies, providing flexibilities for user. That's Nano S. Nano X is a Bluetooth-enabled device that allows for secure wireless transactions. It has a larger screen than the Nano S and supports more applications simultaneously. I think I've got the S. You need to download Ledger Live. This companion application allows you to manage your assets, perform transactions, and track your portfolio's real-time performance. For all its fanfare, Ledger is not without faults. A recent revelation sparked controversy when it was announced that Ledger's recovery service could compromise the integrity of your speed phrase. This raised some decentralisation concerns amongst users who felt betrayed by one of them. So there you go. I don't know, but that's what I would, because you've got full self-custody, secure, wide range of supported assets, and DAPP, integration, portability, backup and recovery. They are complex with lots of access, security risks, device and blockchain compatibility. Yeah, so there you go. Where am I over here? Okay. Where was I up to? Here somewhere. And Shannon, how you going? I forgot to say hello to you. Shannon said, when ATMs and cash registers fail, when the power goes off, so does crypto and USB sticks, even worse. Yeah, I know. Deb said, I think the trick was not to don't panic and call Dr. Timmy or 000. Oh, I don't know. Deb's laughing at Shannon. I didn't want to ring 000. It's the last thing I want to do. Sal said, when the power goes out worldwide, crypto would be worth a squirt of cat pee. Yep. But look, if the power goes out worldwide, it's only go out for a few days. It'll come back. That's what I believe anyway. That's just my opinion. Deb said, yes, when we watch TV, you have to remember that emergency in Australia is not 911. Yeah, no, it's 000 here in Australia. And it's 999 in the UK, isn't it? Am I right? Shannon said, I've already picked out which neighbour I'll eat first. Oh, God, Shannon. Oh, dear. Deb said, we love our Shannon. And with that, guys, I'm going to go. And I shall be back, hopefully, tomorrow. And, you know, as I said before, if anything does happen to me, like my kids know to jump on and let you guys know. But I'm going to contact Timmy because it scared the shit out of me. So, okay, I'm off to talk to Timmy, hopefully. I hope he's all right too. Anyway, guys, much love, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.